Hello friends. Welcome to Homeopathy Medicines. Today in this homeopathic Materia Medica, I will discuss about homeopathic medicine Stannum metallicum. Before starting this video, please subscribe to this channel. We need support from you to make this channel more beautiful and more informative. Now going to discuss about Stannum metallicum, its uses and symptoms. Chief action is centered upon the nervous system and respiratory organs. Debility is very marked when Stannum is the remedy, especially the debility of chronic bronchial and pulmonary conditions, characterized by profuse mucopurulent discharges upon tuberculosis basis. Talking causes a very weak feeling in the throat and chest. Pains that come and go gradually, call unmistakably for Stannum. Paralytic weakness, spasms, paralysis. Mind, sad, anxious. Discouraged. Dread of seeing people. Head, aching in temples and forehead. Obstinate acute coryza and influenza with cough. Pain worse motion, gradually increasing and decreasing as if constricted by a band, forehead feels pressed inwards. Jarring of walking resounds painfully in head. Drawing pains in malar bones and orbits. Ulceration of ringole in lobe of ear. Throat, much adhesive mucus, difficult to detach, efforts to detach cause nausea. Throat dry and stings. Stomach, hunger. Smell of cooking causes vomiting. Bitter taste. Pain better pressure, but sore to touch. Sensation of emptiness in stomach. Abdomen, cramp-like colic around navel, with a feeling of emptiness. Colic relieved by hard pressure. Female, bearing down sensation. Prolapsus, with weak, sinking feeling in stomach, September. Menses early and profuse. Pain in vagina, upward and back to spine. Leukorrhea, with great debility. Respiratory, hoarse, mucus expelled by forcible cough. Violent, dry cough in evening until midnight. Cough excited by laughing, singing, talking, worse lying on right side. During day, with copious green, sweetish, expectoration. Chest feels sore. Chest feels weak, can hardly talk. Influenzal cough from noon to midnight with scanty expectoration. Respiration short, oppressive, stitches in left side when breathing and lying on same side. Thysis mucosa. Hectic fever. Sleeps with one leg drawn up, the other stretched out. Extremities, paralytic weakness, drops things. Ankles swollen. Limbs suddenly give out when attempting to sit down. Dizziness and weakness when descending. Spasmodic twitching of muscles of forearm and hand. Fingers jerk when holding pen. Neuritis. Typewriter's paralysis. Fever, heat in evening, exhausting night sweats, especially towards morning. Hectic. Perspiration, principally on forehead and nape of neck, debilitating, smelling musty, or offensive. Modalities, worse, using voice, I.e., laughing, talking, singing, lying on right side, warm drinks. Better, coughing or expectorating, hard pressure. Stannum is especially suited to persons who have long been growing feeble. This is so striking that it may be said that some deep-seated constitutional state must be present. There is a history of increasing weakness, cachexia, catarrhal conditions, and neuralgia dating back over years. There is sensitiveness to pain and an increasing aversion to doing anything, aversion to business in a man, and in a woman, to going about her housework, always tired, all work becomes irksome. The countenance becomes increasingly sallow, even to a waxy, cachectic aspect. One who has been growing weaker and develops neuralgia of the face, eyes, stomach, and intestines, not the shooting, tearing pains often described, but a pain beginning gradually, increasing steadily and then diminishing gradually. The pain sometimes begins with sunrise, increases until noon and gradually diminishes, and ceases with sunset. On the other hand, it may begin at any time, as often at 10 a.m. and increasing for 10 or 20 minutes, then gradually decrease until gone. A few other remedies have these sun headaches. Homeo has a similar headache, not so regularly increasing and diminishing, but especially worse at noon. Cactus has a sun headache. Natrum myrrh has never been known to cause it, but has cured it, especially when beginning at 10 a.m. and worse from 2 to 3 p.m. Sang has headache coming and going with the sun. The phthisical tendency of Stannum is closely allied to the neuralgias. If these patients settle down into a neuralgic constitution, the deposit of tubercles is postponed, but most of them then seek palliation with the inevitable result of hastening the end. If the Stannum neuralgia is suppressed, we will see phthisis making its appearance, particularly phthisis pituitosa. Nature seems to be able to throw off effects through mucus discharges. If the neuralgia is not permitted to have sway, the patient becomes oversensitive to cold, takes cold easily. When let alone every cold settled in the nerves and every draft caused neuralgias about the eyes, sensitive to every change in the weather, the hydrogenoid constitution of Gravogel. But when palliated in any way by quinine and inappropriate homeopathic remedies that have the tendency to catch cold in the chest like foes, he after a while does not get over his cold, but there is a continuous catarrh of the chest, and later he will die of miliary tuberculosis. Stannum is useful in warding off phthisis, and is a wonderful palliative in that disease. The pain has been likened to the pulling of a string, gradually increasing and gradually letting up. The pulls. Pain is somewhat similar in its first half, it gradually becomes intense, but suddenly lets up with a snap, comes gradually and stops suddenly. Remember what is said about the bell. Pain. It comes suddenly and reaches its intensity at once, where it may remain for hours, but ceases suddenly. The Stannum pain is at times so severe that there is a throbbing pulsating intermingled with it, and the mind seems stunned. Headache every morning, over one or the other eye, mostly the left, gradually extending over the whole forehead and increasing and decreasing gradually, often with vomiting. Violent, glowing, beating pain. It is sometimes attended with burning. Felt as if the head would burst with inward blows. Neuralgia of the left eye gradually increasing from 10 a.m. to noon, then gradually decreasing, with lacrimation during pain. Intermittent supraorbital neuralgia from 10 a.m. to 3 or 4 p.m., gradually increasing and attaining its acme, and then again gradually decreasing, after the abuse of quinine. This is when the body is weak, with sallow countenance and tendency to phthisis, full of pain, and the earlier history shows that instead of taking cold in the chest or nose, as others take cold, every cold settles in the nerves. Finally he begins to take cold in the chest, with dyspnea, violent, racking cough, gagging, retching, vomiting, and the most intense sufferings. Copious, thick, yellow-green, bloody expectoration, which tastes sweetish, foes. Retching when coughing is marked, thick, white, yellow or green tenacious mucus. Cannot walk, cannot do anything without cough. Always tired, it is an effort to work. Wakens in the morning with the chest filled with mucus, and coughs and expectorates, and yet some remains, he gags, retches and vomits, and it strings out of the mouth tasting sweetish, sometimes salty or sour. This great weakness is manifested in the voice, hoarseness, loss of voice, the vocal cords will not respond, a paralytic weakness. Talking makes him feel weak, especially in the chest. Hoarseness, weakness, emptiness in the chest on beginning to sing, so that she was constantly obliged to stop and take a deep breath. At times a few expulsive coughs remove the hoarseness for a few minutes. Rawness in the larynx. Rawness in the trachea and smarting all the way down when coughing. Irritation to cough, as from mucus in the trachea, or breathing, with cough either loose or dry, felt more while sitting bent over than when walking. Accumulation of great quantities of mucus in the trachea, easily thrown off by coughing. Oppressed breathing from ascending, from the slightest movement, when lying down, in the evening, from coughing. Cough in fatiguing paroxysms, epigastric region painful as if beaten, violent, shattering, deep, short, from time to time, as from weakened chest, with a hoarse, Weak sound. Cough caused by talking, singing, laughing, lying on the side and from drinking anything warm. Sputa like white of VGG, yellow, green pus, sweetish, putrid, sour or saltish during day. Chest so weak that he cannot talk, empty feeling in the chest. This remedy is frequently indicated in cases where the internist would prescribe BRY, etc., in low potencies to loosen the cough. Stannum is not dangerous in phthisis, and will palliate the case if it is incurable. It will not rouse up the whole economy like silica, but there may be an aggravation of the nervous symptoms. If there is anything to build on, it will cause the patient to rally. If it brings back his old neuralgic pains, and you know he has not a long time to live, and seems to suffer much, pulse is the natural antidote. When a loose, easy cough is turned into one that is violent, dry and racking under stannum, and seems to be inclined to be prolonged, pulse will restore the loose cough. This is not a good action of the remedy. In incurable cases you can get the best results by not going too high. Another feature is seen in women. If you ever meet with a case who has suffered with violent neuralgia and she says since the obliteration of these pains she has had a copious, thick, yellow, green leukorrhea, think of stannum. There is great weakness, which seems to proceed from the chest. The leukorrhea has saved her from consumption. Menses too early and too profuse, bearing down in the uterine region, prolapsus uteri and vaginas. Paralytic symptoms, writer's cramp, women cannot let go of the broom, drows. Cures most cases. Constipation, stools hard, dry, knotty, or insufficient and green. Inactive rectum, IDT, a paralytic state, even though there is much urging there is inability to pass the stool, which at times is soft. Colic better from pressure, lying on the stomach, colic, cupor, worse from motion, better from bending double. Very much exhausted from talking or reading aloud. Great lassitude from walking, weariness of the whole body, especially when ascending stairs, great sense of weakness in larynx and chest, thence all over the body, trembling worse from slow exercise. Thanks for watching this video. If you want more videos like Stannum metallicum, please subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon. Comment us your feedback. Like and share this video with your friends and family. For paid and free consultancy online, visit homeopathymedicines.com and mashclinic.com. Thank you. Have a nice day. Stay healthy, stay happy.